Hey y'all, it's Dan for Numerical Lion coming from an undisclosed secret location using gematria or gematria to reveal the false reality in which we live in. And we do live in a false reality constructed by the people who set up society, the architects, the literal and figurative architects of society, how things are set up. Doesn't have to be this way. And I think more people know this code, the more they can see that our reality is really constructed and manipulated. So I saw this story today on December 19th. Actually, today's December 20th, but I saw the story about a sudden snow squall in Pennsylvania caused a deadly pileup. And every year there's so many stories about deadly pileups. And so I looked into this one. This was updated at 8:14. So heavy snow, low visibility, gusty winds, and slippery roads caused a deadly pileup on Interstate 80 in central Pennsylvania that also left at least 44 people injured. They say at least 44. And we all know about 44, that kill number. All right, kill 44. Also, when I think of weather, I think of the military and how are able, using HARP and other means, to change the weather using, you know, weather warfare, weather modification, cloud seeding. So anyway, let's get back to the decode here. A Montour County coroner confirmed 2 men died as a result of a 30-vehicle crash Wednesday afternoon. So Wednesday was the 18th, according to CNN affiliate Wolf. I'll show you why that's interesting. WOLF. Snow squalls are short-lived and typically last less than 3 hours, according to the National Weather Service. The agency tweeted Wednesday to warn of a moving snow squall around 2:30 p.m. The accident happened around 1:40 p.m. Pennsylvania State Police told CNN. All these facts are important. All these numbers, it's part of the narrative. The accident was weather-induced, according to Pennsylvania Department of Transportation press officer Kimberly Smith. Why did she say that? I mean, of course it was. I'll tell you why she said it in a little bit. So a chain reaction involving about 20 tractor trailers and 10 other vehicles occurred about 70 miles away from Harrisburg, according to WOLF. Interstate 80 was shut down between the Williamsport and Lock Haven exits for hours. So I just went on and on decoding this because there was so much. Let's go to the decode here. Right on down to when the story was updated. So it happened on a day with 30 numerology. 12 plus 18 is 30. Notice they talked about 30-car pileup. The snow squall started around 2:30, or when did they say it started? They get hit around 1:40, but 2:30 is when the weather people warned. They warned at 2:30, right? 30-vehicle pileup. I saw another story where there's 30 people injured or dead. I'm not dead, injured. So 30, obviously that number of Saturn. And this happened on a day with 30 numerology, Saturn, with the S exception, if I can spell, equals 30. And this happened on a day with 69 numerology too. 12 plus 18 plus 20 plus 19 is 69. Also happened on a day with 42 numerology and Saturn. All of these numbers. So 44 injured, I mentioned that before. Kill 44. Also 64, and I'll show you why that is interesting. 64, also the number of killed because it's happened in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania 64. Also, check out the geometry of sudden snow squall, deadly pileup in Harrisburg, 58. At number 58. Also, 2 dead. 2 equals 58. And I'll get to the 2 dead. I'll get to that right now. So it happened on Interstate 80. Another 58. Right? And the significance of 58, of course, Freemasonry. 58. And that's what we're dealing with here. Freemasonry. There's a union between Freemasonry and Kabbalah. Freemasonry 58. It's all a big 58 festival. So, on another local story from WNEP, survivor of deadly pileup along Interstate 80 speaks up, right? So it's posted 1126, harp 26, right? It's number of God, playing harp also. You gotta spell it right. Harp also 44, just like military. Just like God. They're playing God with the weather. No, we already did that. Interstate 80. So, Freemasonry. Let's look at the governor, because a lot of these things are centered around the governor. Here he is, Tom Wolfe. Right? Didn't they say all this reporting came from WOLF? Isn't that hilarious? And the name of the governor is Wolfe. Think that's a coincidence? His real name, Thomas Westerman Wolfe. He's 71 right now, and he was born in Mount Wolfe in Mount Wolfe, Pennsylvania. This reminds me of Jeff Flake, born in Snowflake, Arizona. He's the 47th governor, right? So the accident happened 4 weeks and 4 days after his birthday, right? Kind of like 44. Like 44 injured. And the governor was born on November 17th. That left 44 days left in the year. Another 44. And military 44. Harp 44. Look at this thing from globalresearch.ca about it. So, rarely acknowledged in the debate of global climate change, the world's weather can now be modified as part of a new generation of sophisticated electromagnetic weapons. Both the US and Russia have developed capabilities to manipulate the climate for military use. Environmental modification techniques have been applied by the US military for more than half a century. U.S. mathematician John von Neumann, in liaison with the U.S. Department of Defense, started his research on weather modification in the late 1940s at the height of the Cold War, and foresaw forms of climatic warfare as yet unimagined. During the Vietnam War, cloud seeding techniques were used, starting in 1967 under Project Popeye, the objective of which was to prolong the monsoon season and block enemy supply routes along the Ho Chi Minh Trail. The U.S. military has developed advanced capabilities that enable it to selectively to alter weather patterns. The technology, which is being perfected under the High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program, or HARP, is an appendage of the Strategic Defense Initiative, or Star Wars. From a military standpoint, HARP is a weapon of mass destruction operating from the outer atmosphere and capable of destabilizing agricultural and ecological systems around the world. Weather modification, according to the U.S. Air Force document AF 2025 final report, offers the warfighter a wide range of possible options to defeat or coerce an adversary. Capabilities, it says, extend to triggering of floods, hurricanes, droughts, and earthquakes. Weather modification will become a part of domestic and international security and could be done unilaterally. It could have offensive and defensive applications and even be used for deterrence purposes. the ability to generate precipitation, fog, and storms on Earth, or to modify space weather, and the production of artificial weather are all part of an integrated set of military techniques. In 1977, an international convention was ratified by the UN General Assembly, which banned military or other hostile use of environmental modification techniques having widespread, long-lasting, or severe effects. It defined environmental modification techniques as any technique for changing, through the deliberate manipulation of natural processes, the dynamics, composition, or structure of the Earth, including its biota, lithosphere, hydrosphere, and atmosphere, or of outer space. So the HARP program was established in 92. I've heard 93, but anyway, it's an array of high-powered antennas that transmit through high-frequency radio waves massive amounts of energy into the ionosphere, the upper layer of the atmosphere. Their construction was funded by the U.S. Air Force, the U.S. Navy, and the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, or DARPA. Operated jointly by the Air Force Research Laboratory and the Office of Naval Research, HARP constitutes a system of powerful antennas capable of creating controlled local modifications of the ionosphere. Notice the emphasis on controlled local modifications of the ionosphere. Locally they can reach down and change the weather in a small region. That's pretty amazing. According to its official website, www.harpalaska.edu, HARP will be used to induce a small localized change in ionospheric temperature, so physical reactions can be studied by other instruments located either at or close to the HARP site. But Rosalie Bergtel, president of the International Institute of Concern for Public Health, says HARP operates as a gigantic heater that can cause major disruptions in the ionosphere, creating not just holes, but long incisions in the protective layer that keeps deadly radiation from bombarding the planet. That's another aspect of HARP. Physicist Dr. Bernard Eastlund called it the largest ionospheric heater ever built. HARP is presented by the U.S. Air Force as a research program, but military documents confirm its main objective is to induce ionospheric modifications with a view to altering weather patterns and disrupting communications and radar. So you can read this at globalresearch.ca, but that's what's going on here. Let's get back to this local story. I just remembered what I was doing. So it's posted 11/26, updated at 10:44, military, HARP 26 and 44, right? Let's go into this. So pile up along interstate 80, and here are the victims. Edward Posavec. Sound like foreigners, right? I guess they're Americans. Look at that, 64, just like Pennsylvania, just like Kill, just like military, 55, just like the governor who's 71 years old. So Posavec. And who's the other guy? The other guy was Merrick. I don't know, I can't pronounce that. And guess what? He's 58 years old. We were talking about 58. Number of Freemasonry, sudden snow squall, 58. Interstate 80, 58. 2 dead, 2, 58. Right? So, check this out. If you write out the full name of HARP, which is the oral research thing, where is it? Here we go. High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program. And let's put this into the handy dandy calculator. Check it out. Look at that 223 there. Look at Marek, can't hardly pronounce his name. 223, High Active Auroral Research Program. 223. See that? And there's a correlation too. 457 is the 88th prime number, right? Marak so-and-so is 88. So in 2 of the 4 or 5 ciphers, it's a match. Also notice the 83, murder 83, also 79, murder 79. And this 223 number, natural disaster, I believe is 2. And that's what this is, right? It's natural. It's a natural disaster. Is it? We don't know anymore what's nature and what is induced, right? Getting back to the story, like the woman said, would she say the accident was weather induced? So doesn't that really mean that the weather was changed, right? Check out her name too, Kimberly Smith. And natural disaster. Look at that. Kimberly Smith 74. Natural disaster 74. Also 65 and 56, the reflection thereof. Also 79, like murder, just like the guy who died in the. So getting back to this thing, there's so much stuff here. So I-80 or 18 or reflection of 81, right? This is a highway ritual. Ritual 81. So you say more than 30 were injured in the crash, right? CNN says something different. So here's who the survivor is. They're talking to this guy, Meyer Levy. Sounds like a Jewish name. Gematria, a Jewish practice. Check out his numbers. So look at that. Here's some military for you. 107.44, Meyer Levy. My fingers feel a little funny. I was playing music last night. Military 44, right? Also 109, just like Meyer Levy. Look at this. This is pretty insane. Also Meyer Levy 44. Military 44, Meyer Levy 109, military 109, Meyer Levy 107, military 109. Think he's in the military or connected? Also Levy 44, just like military, just like 44 people injured in the CNN story, just like 64 like Pennsylvania. And he just had a small scrape on his eye. What a weird thing. You know? So this also happened at mile marker 204. This happened on a day with 24 numerology as well. 1 plus 2 plus 1 plus 8 plus 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 9 is 24. So let's get back to this. The governor, Mr. Wolf, as reported by WOOF. So it was the 32nd day of his age, and he was born on the 17th, and he's 71 now, right? The reflection there, and 17, another kill number, right? You write out kill, just like Levy, kill 64, kill 44, kill 17. See that? Levy 17 as well. There's so much information here. So anyway, if you include the end date, it's 32 days from November 17th to December 18th. This happened 32 days after the governor's birthday. Tom Wolf, the governor, right? WOLF. From Mount Wolf, Pennsylvania. Right? Born and bred to be, huh? 32. He was born with 32 numerology. 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 7 plus 1 plus 9 plus 4 plus 8 is 32. Accident, 32. Right? They're calling this an accident. The story came out with 31 numerology. That's when it came out. 12 plus 19 is 31. Tom Wolf, 31 as well. And it was 31 days from his birthday. November 17th to December 18th. 31 days. So this happened at 1:40. It was weather induced, according to Kimberly Smith. Kind of a weird thing to say. And weather induced equals 1:40. That's why that's why they say these things. It was weather induced 1:40. What else about 1:40 can we say? Well, Tom Wolfe equals 104, which is just like 1:40. 1:40 is 14. 104 is 14. Right? And also, so he was born in Mount Wolfe, and Mount Wolfe is 104. How appropriate. Just like Tom Wolfe. Oh gosh. So 104 is 14. Dead 14. Right? Story was updated at 8:14. Oh, I forgot to put 2 in there. Let me find 2. So 2 also equals 14. 2 dead, right? 2 dead. 14. So Interstate 80 was shut down between Williamsport and Lock Haven exits for hours. Lock Haven also 44, like military, like 44 people injured, like kill. Right? And look at Pennsylvania and weather warfare. 152, 152. And that's that thing I read to you. So another thing is that if you don't believe in weather warfare, check out the Lynmouth flood. I've mentioned this on this channel before. This video is getting a little long, but this is important stuff. Lynmouth flood disaster, RAF rainmaking experience blamed for Devon's worst ever flood disaster. So it claimed 34 lives, and it was in Lynmouth. And Lynmouth equals 34, also 38. Like murder, death, killing, murder, 34. These people were murdered by the military. So I'll read you this little story here. Operation Cumulus was the name of the experiment carried out by the RAF and an international team of scientists in August of 1952. On this day, August 15th of 1952, the cloud seeding experiments came to a sudden end, official documents have confirmed. It was also the same day that Devon experienced the biggest, most tragic flooding event the region has seen in more than 300 years. 34 people died in the flash storms that have come known as the Lynmouth flood disaster, as a torrent of 90 metric tons of water and thousands of tons of rocks poured off saturated Exmoor and into the village, destroying homes, bridges, shops, and hotels. In August 1952, eyewitnesses described the purple-black clouds that accumulated over Exmoor. Some even said that the threatening skies had a weird greenish tinge, and more than one person observed that the clouds above North Devon and West Somerset were moving in completely opposite directions. Wow, that's interesting. So there's a story from the time it happened. The disaster was officially termed a Hand of God event, but in 2001, the BBC unearthed new evidence from previously classified government files suggesting that a team of international scientists working with the RAF was experimenting with artificial rainmaking in southern Britain in the same week and could possibly have been implicated. Squadron leader Len Otley, who was working on Operation Cumulus, told the BBC that they jokingly referred to the rainmaking exercise as Operation Witch Doctor. So, another interesting thing is that it happened in 52, and if you write out flood, it equals 52, right? Flood also, murder, death. These are death numbers, death 25 and 20. That's what happens with a flood, and one that can be induced. So, there you go. Let's decode a little longer, but very necessary. People need to wake up to the weather modification that's going on around them. And this is all for ritual. You know, a freak snow squall comes out of nowhere and causes this huge pileup. And this happens a lot. If you notice the news of these accidents that happen, so-called accidents that happen on the highway, and they're all connected with the governor of the state, Tom Wolf. Still laughing that it was reported by WOLF, and he's from Mount Wolf, Pennsylvania. And of course, he's the 47th governor. So that'll do it. Thank you so much. Please learn this knowledge, this ancient occult knowledge. It's very important. Thank you so much. Have a great day, everybody.